Hello students, this is Vishan sir. Today is my 10th video and in this lecture we will see the third chapter of your syllabus, that is demand analysis. Okay, and before going to start the third chapter, let me tell you the third chapter is extension of the second chapter. Means the demand analysis is extension of utility analysis, that is consumer behavior. So in this chapter we will see what is consumers demand, how consumer demand for the commodity, why consumer demand for the commodity. So ultimately the consumer will demand the commodity for his satisfaction, to get the maximum satisfaction. Okay, so in this chapter we will see what is demand, meaning of demand, yes, definition of demand, classification of demand, mean that is there are two classification, individual demand and market demand. Yes, after that we will see the different different types of demand, then different determinants of demand, then the law of demand with the assumption and exceptionals. Okay, yes, then change in demand and variation in demand. Okay, that much we will see in this chapter. So this chapter is again very important, very marks oriented, exam oriented, very important to understand the consumer behavior. Okay, let us start with the meaning of demand. Okay, see again this chapter based upon the consumer's behavior, means before going to purchase the commodity, how one consumer behave. Okay, how to purchase, what are the question comes in the mind of the consumer. Yes, how to purchase, how much to purchase, when to purchase, where to purchase, and whom to purchase. These are the question comes in the mind of the consumer before going to purchase the commodity. So when the consumer behave like that, it's a rational consumer, and rational consumer always try to maximize his utility, okay, or satisfaction level. Okay, so let us see the meaning of demand. In the ordinary language, the demand means desire. Desire means an urge to have something, but in economics, demand means a desire which is backed by the willingness and ability to pay for it. Okay, let us see one by one. In this meaning of demand, there are three words: desire, willingness to purchase, and ability to pay. Third one is ability to pay. So when we club all these three, when we join all these three, it is called as demand. Okay, so demand means a desire which is backed by the willingness to purchase and ability to pay. Okay. Symbolically, when we write the formula of demand, you can see in the formula given in the pink color box, that is demand is equal to desire plus willingness to purchase plus ability to pay. Let us see one by one. What is the meaning of desire? Desire means wish to have something, wish to have something. And willingness to purchase means it shows the readiness, it shows the readiness of the consumer to purchase, whether the consumer is ready or not. And ability to pay means the capacity to pay, it shows the capacity of the consumer, whether the consumer have that much capable to pay for it. Yes, So when we joined all these three words, that is desire, willingness and ability, it becomes demand. Yes, if any one of them is absent, then it's not the complete demand. Yes, so demand is only when all these three are together at the same time. Okay, let me tell you one example here. I will give you two example. One example of willingness to purchase and ability to pay. Okay, for example, first example, a miser desire to purchase a car. A miser desire to purchase the car, but he cannot purchase the car. Why? Because he has desire to purchase the car. Yes, he has ability to pay for it. Means a miser is a rich person, so he has enough capacity to pay for the car, but in the absence of willingness to purchase, the demand cannot be completed. Okay, why? Because the person is miser. So a miser is a person who always try to save the money. So he has desire to purchase the car. Even he has also ability to pay for it, but in the absence of willingness to purchase, the demand is not completed. Yes. Second example, the example of ability to pay. Suppose a beggar, a poor person, a beggar desire to have a lunch in the 5-star hotel. So is it demand? No, because a beggar is a very poor person. Okay, and he desires to have lunch in the 5-star hotel. So desire is there. Yes, but in the absence of capacity to pay for lunch, this is not possible for the poor people because he is a beggar. Yes, so the demand is not completed. A beggar desires to have lunch in the 5-star hotel. So in this sentence, desire is there. Yes, but he cannot pay for the per plate cost of lunch in the 5-star hotel. Suppose one plate of lunch in the 5-star hotel is 1000 rupees. So a beggar has desire to have a lunch and he is willing to purchase what? Yes, so readiness is there, but he does not have that much capacity to pay for one plate of 5-star hotel cost. Means in the absence of ability to pay, the demand is not completed. The demand is only completed when all these three together will be there. Yes, 3 means desire plus willingness to pay, willingness to purchase and ability to pay for it. Okay, when all these three come together, it is called as demand. So simply we can say demand is a desire which is backed by the willingness to purchase and ability to pay for it. This is the complete meaning of demand. Each and everybody has demand. Yes, demand for pen, demand for pencil, demand for notebook, demand for chocolate, demand for vegetables. Yes, demand for milk, demand for groceries, demand for clothes. Yes, all these demands are nothing but the demand. But all three should be there at a time. Desire plus willingness plus ability to pay. Desire means wish to have something. Willingness to purchase means the consumer is ready to purchase. Yes, and ability to pay means the consumer have that much money to pay for it, means capacity to pay for it. So this is the meaning of demand. Let us move towards the definition given by Benham. According to Benham, the demand for anything at a given price is the amount of it which will be bought per unit of time at that price. Okay, when we analyze this definition, the author says that the demand for anything at a time price is the amount of it, means price will decide the demand. When there is a low price of the commodity, people will purchase more and more demand, and if there is a high price of the commodity, people will purchase less and less demand. Okay, now let us see a very brief features of demand. Yes, the next topic is the features of demand. Features of demand is not the specific question for the exam, but to understand the demand, feature is also important. So there are 3 features of demand. 2 is given in your textbook, one more you can add. Okay, first is what? Demand is a relative concept. What is meaning of relative concept? In the features of utility we have seen utility is a relative concept because it is changes from time to time and place to place. So here instead of utility it is demand. So demand is a relative concept, means demand changes from time to time and place to place. Yes, because we have different seasons. Time means seasons. So during summer season the demand for cold drink increases. Yes, during rainy season the demand for raincoats, demand for umbrella increases. Yes, during winter season the demand for hot drinks and rain sweater increases. So here demand also changes from time to time. That's why it is a relative concept. Yes, demand also changes from place to place. Some place have more demand for the commodity and some place have less demand for the commodity. Yes, for example I have given apples have more demand in Mumbai and less demand in Kashmir. So Kashmir is what? Kashmir is a place. Mumbai is what? Mumbai is a place. So different place have different demand. So demand also changes from place to place and time to time. That's why it is a relative concept. And these two are running simultaneously, time to time and place to place, because time and place are interrelated. We cannot say these are different. Yes, these are interrelated, means these are running simultaneously, back to back. Yes, so time and place both are relative concept. Second, demand is essentially expressed with the reference to time and price. Yes, okay, demand is also related with the time and price. If there is a, for example, if there is a summer season, so during summer season people feel some heat, so at that time the demand for cold drink increases. Okay, so the price will determines the demand. And the third feature is demand is a subjective concept. Subjective means it is changes from person to person. Different person have different demand. Some people demand more units of the commodity, some people demand less unit of the commodity. So demand changes from person to person. It is called as demand is a subjective concept. You can add in your explanation, otherwise whatever is given in your textbook just go through. Yes, in this textbook only 2 features are given, that is demand is a relative concept and demand is essentially expressed with the reference to the time and price. Okay, let us move Further, the next topic is, this type of question come for the short notes, demand schedule. Yes, a demand schedule is a tabular representation of the functional relationship between price and quantity demanded for a particular commodity. Yes, demand schedule means demand table. Here schedule means table. So in this table it is shown that different price combination and different quantity demanded, means at what price the consumer demand how much units of the commodity. So there is a inverse relationship between, there is a indirect relationship between price and quantity demanded. Yes, higher the price, lower will be the demand, and lower the price of the commodity, higher will be the quantity demanded. So there is a inverse relationship, there is a opposite relationship between price and quantity demanded. Yes, it means when the price of the commodity is high, the individual consumer will purchase less unit. He will purchase, but he will purchase less unit. Yes, and vice versa. When the price of the commodity is very low, so he will purchase more and more units of the commodity, means more and more demand. So there is an inverse between price and quantity demanded. Okay, so there are two types of demand schedule. One is a individual demand schedule and second is a market demand schedule. Let us see one by one. The individual demand schedule means, what is meaning of individual? Individual means single, means a person, an individual. So how we can define the individual demand schedule? The individual demand means it is a total quantity of the commodity purchased by single buyer. Okay, single buyer means an individual consumer. So individual demand means it is a total quantity of the commodity purchased by a single buyer at a different price level in the market. It is called as individual buyer, single buyer. Okay, and in this schedule we can see table number 3.1, and this is the table of individual demand schedule, individual demand table. Okay, so in the first column the price of X commodity is given. X commodity, it may be anything. It may be price of apple, it may be price of sugar, it may be price of any commodity. So in the first column the price of the commodity is given, and it is given in the terms of rupees, because in India it is, the Indian currency is rupees. Okay, and in the second column the quantity demanded given in the kg, kilograms. Okay, of X commodity. Let us see, when the price of the commodity is 10 rupees, its demand only 1 kg. Why it is 1 kg? Because price is very high. And if you see in the table, the price column is given like that, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. So when you see this way, the price of the commodity decreases, the price of the commodity declines. And what I said in the beginning, there is an inverse between price and quantity demanded. Yes, when you observe the price of the commodity is in a decreasing form, yes, so the demand will be in a increasing form, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively. Okay, so it is very simple to understand. When the price of the commodity decreases, its demand increases. Yes, when the price is 10 rupees, demand is 1 kg of commodity. When the price decreases from 10 to 8, demand increases from 1 to 2 kg. So demand increases. So it is a very simple table to understand. Yes, you can see decrease in price will increase the demand, and vice versa. If the table will be there like that, when the price is increasing, demand will be decrease. Okay, so there is again inverse relationship. And when we plot the diagram on the basis of this table, you will get a downward sloping demand curve. Yes, the individual demand curve is a graphical presentation of data. Student, remember that when you going to draw the schedule, you have to prepare one table. So individual demand schedule is a tabular representation of consumers data, and individual demand curve means it is a graphical representation of the individual demand schedule. Yes, because the curve may be drawn on the graph on the paper. Yes, and the table, the schedule will be made by the student in the table, proper table. What is table? Table means it is a combination of rows and columns. So you have to prepare the table for understand the schedule, and after that you have to draw the diagram. So diagram means it is a curve. It's a graphical representation of the individual demand schedule. So you can see this is the individual demand schedule. Okay, the individual demand curve, it is a downward sloping line. You can see DD is a downward sloping. Okay, so according to this diagram number 3.1, figure number 3.1, on the y-axis price is measured, and on the x-axis the quantity demanded in kg is measured. You can see as price of the commodity decreases from 10 to 8, its demand increases from 1 kg to 2 kg. Yes, so very simple to understand. Okay, now you can see a picture in your textbook. A fruit vendor is selling the fruits, and who purchase? Only single buyer, single lady is purchasing the fruit. So it is called as individual demand. Yes, so individual demand is a demand by a single buyer. Yes, you can see. Okay, with the help of picture. Second type of demand is market demand. Even the word says its meaning. Individual demand means single buyer. Market demand schedule means there are many buyers. Yes, it may be 3, 4, 5, 6. It may be. So you can see in the picture. This picture shows that the vendor is same, the seller is same, but there are many buyers. You can count the number of buyers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 to 8 buyers are there. So it's the demand become market demands, not the individual demand. If it is individual demand, there will be single buyer. Yes, single consumer. If it is market demand, there will be many buyers. Yes, let us see the meaning. Market demand is a total quantity of the commodity which is purchased by many buyers at a different price in the market. It is called as market demand. Market demand schedule is a tabular representation of the different quantity of the commodity in which all consumers are prepared to buy at a various price level over a given period of time. Yes, you can see the table 3.2. So this is the market demand schedule. In the market demand schedule, in the first column, price is given 10 rupees, 8 rupees, 6 rupees, 4 rupees and 2 rupees. And in the second column, it is a total quantity of the commodity purchased by 3 consumers: consumer A, consumer B, consumer C, and their demand is shown respectively. Means consumer A demand 5 kg of commodity at 10 rupees, and he increase his commodity from 5 kg to 10 kg when the price decrease from 10 rupees to 8 rupees. So obviously when the price decrease, the demand will increase. Okay, let us see consumers A behavior. Only consumer A, second column, consumer A. Consumer A demand increases from 5 kg to 10 kg, 10 kg to 15 kg, 15 kg to 20 kg. Okay, 20 kg to 25 kg. When its price decreases from 10 rupees to 8 rupees, 8 rupees to 6 rupees, 6 rupees to 4 rupees, and 4 rupees to 2 rupees respectively. See about the consumer B. The consumer B demand also increases. Why? Because price decreases. Okay, see about the, now third, see about the consumer C. The consumer C demand also increases from 15 kg to 20 kg, 20 kg to 25, 25 kg to 30, 30 to 35 kg. Why? Because price decreases from 10 to 8, 8 to 6, 6 to 4 rupees, 4 rupees to 2 rupees respectively. So that much it is a market demand. But market demand is a total demand of the society. Yes, total demand of the consumers. So when we add all these consumers demand A, B, C in a horizontal way, not in a vertical way. When you add consumers A demand in a vertical way, the answer will come individuals demand. When you add the consumer B demand in a vertical way, you will get the consumer B's demand only. When you add consumer C demand vertically, you will get only total demand of the consumer C. You will not get the market demand. Yes, market demand can be only obtained when you add the numbers in a horizontal way. Means horizontally you have to add. Yes, so how to get the market demand? Let us see. The consumer A demand is 5 kg at 10 rupees. Okay, consumer B demand is 10 kg at 10 rupees, and consumer C demand is 15 kg at 10 rupees. So you have to add horizontally. 5 plus 10 plus 15 is equal to 30. So 30 is a market demand. So market demand can be obtained by A plus B plus C. You have to add the numbers in a horizontally. At 8 rupees, yes, the demand of A is 10 kg, B demand 15 kg, and consumer C demand 20 kg. So 10 plus 15 plus 20 is equal to 45 kg. Yes, at 6 rupees, consumer A demand 15 kg, consumer B demand 20 kg, consumer C demand 25 kg. So total demand is 60 kg. Market demand is 60 kg. At 4 rupees price, consumer A demand is 20 kg, consumer B demand is 25 kg, and consumer C demand is 30 kg. So total is 75 kg. So to get the market demand, you have to add the consumer's demand horizontally, not vertically. Okay, so you will get the market demand. Okay, now it's time to draw the diagram of the market demand schedule. So again you have to draw the price on y-axis and quantity demanded on x-axis. Okay, you will get a market demand schedule. Again the demand is downward sloping, but in your textbook the diagram is not given clearly. Yes, I will show you clear diagram during the lectures in the classroom. Okay, a very important things to understand: the individual demand is a demand by the single buyer, and market demand is demand by many buyers at a different price level. Okay, but the thing is, if you see these two diagram, yes, diagram number 3.1 and diagram number 3.3, you will get the individual demand is a steeper slope. And what is steeper, what is flatter, that I will give you afterwards explanation. And the market demand is slope flatter, but in these two diagram, the diagram looks like a same, but the individual demand is steeper slope and the market demand is flatter slope. That I will teach you in the classroom afterwards. Yes, so this is the diagram of market demand. So again, market demand is the combination of price on the y-axis and commodity on x-axis. So either you draw diagram, market demand diagram, by taking two columns into account. First column is the price, that is 108642, and the second column, that is total market demand. Yes, aggregate market demand, that is 30, 45, 60, 75 and 90. Yes, if you draw this way, the demand curve reflects in a flatter way, means little bit flatter. So this is the, I have completed that much individual demand and market demand. So till now I have completed the introduction, meaning, definition of demand, and to classification of demand, that is individual demand and market demand. Okay, in this lecture I have taught you that much. In the important question you can take down, that is explain the individual demand and market demand with the schedule and diagram. Okay student, so I stop my lecture here. You just go through that much. In the next lecture we will see the reason justifying downward sloping demand curve, means why the demand curve is downward sloping. We will see in the next lecture. Okay, so keep revising at home. Okay student, I stop my lecture here. Thank you class.